And if you now look at our nav bar, this looks actually totally fine. We didn't change the look at all, but we simply made the code smaller and more efficient with Flexbox. That's really cool. But if I now look at the mobile view, because actually we work mobile first, right? And click onto this hamburger, then I don't like this look right here. Because wouldn't it be better if these three buttons would be, well, centered right here? I think it would. And if we look at the classes for that, we have this class right here, the mobile nav open class. Then we have an unordered list. And inside this list, we have 3 list items. Well, the structure right here is actually pretty common to us right now. And this brings us to your challenge now. Turn the mobile nav items class into a flex container and add the properties in a way that the flex items right here are displayed below each other like that, but in the center of the page. Important, if you look at the code, you need to change or add the properties right here to the mobile nav items. So this class right here should become the flex container. Additionally, have a look at the margins because you might have to change these slightly to really change the elements inside this flex container. This is now your challenge. You can now pause the video and try to turn the mobile nav items into a flex container, and then we'll have a look at the solution together. So how did it work? Were you successful? Well, let's start now together, and the first thing we have to do, of course, is we have to add display flex right here. And we can also get rid of the text align declaration. We don't need that anymore. So with display flex being added, let's see and reload the page. Yeah, this looks, let's say, interesting. But if we now first say that our flex direction should not be the default value, but column, because that's what we want to have right here, the buttons should be displayed below each other. Let's reload and open it. Then it looks better. Now keep in mind, we changed the flex direction to column. This means the main axis goes from top to bottom. So we need to add justify content center, right, to make sure that the elements are displayed right here. Let's see if this works fine. Yes, it does. Almost. We'll dive into the details about the almost in a few seconds. And if we now add align items to align the items along the cross axis, which is from left to right in our case, because we have flex direction column. So if we reload that and click onto the menu, this looks pretty good actually, as I would say. Now I said you before we started the challenge that you might have to change the margins a bit. So if we inspect that now, we see that the margins are not perfect, to be honest. But we can simply change that by changing the top and bottom margin to 0, because I don't think we need it anymore. So let's see if I now reload the page, open the hamburger. Yeah, now it looks good. And we can still close it, open it. This works totally fine actually. With that, we added Flexbox to our navigation bar, the mobile navigation bar and the desktop navigation bar. And I hope you saw already that Flexbox, well, is kind of nice to use and can help you to change the way your elements are displayed in quite an easy manner. Now, talking about easier ways to position the elements, let's also work on the footer now maybe. Because the footer down here is working, that's not the question, but it's of course not using Flexbox right here. Now let's see how we can use Flexbox for this footer also in the next lecture.